The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus told his disciples this parable. The kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. The foolish ones, when taking their lamps, brought no oil with them, but the wise brought flasks of oil with their lamps. Since the bridegroom was long delayed, they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight there was a cry, "Behold the bridegroom! Come out to meet him!" Then all those got up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise ones replied, "No, for there may not be enough for us and for you. Go instead to the merchants and buy some for yourselves." While they went up to buy it, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went into the wedding feast with him. Then the door was locked. Afterwards, the others came and said, "Lord, Lord, open the door for us." But he said in reply, "Amen, I say to you, I do not know you. Therefore, stay awake, for you know neither the day nor the hour." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you. This week, our 7th graders and their parents did an amazing thing. I'll tell you about it in a minute. It reminded me of a story. What I need is, can I have the 7th graders and one parent, or both if you want, come up here, grab a candle, and I want you to kind of ring the outside of the church. I got a bunch of candles. Come on. This is not an option. This is interactive. You are preaching by your life. If we run low on candles, make sure that a kid gets one. But I think there should be enough for everybody. Are you bringing parents? I think we need to. And then just kind of spread yourselves out. Make sure that you're not blocking Victoria, okay? And go down the side aisles and kind of around the whole church, okay? While you're doing that, I'll start doing this. Go all the way down the side aisles. Down the aisles. You're wrapping the church with these candles, okay? But somebody stay close here, because I got to pass the light to you, all right? Okay. Now, first thing we did on Monday night, we sang a song. So we're going to do that now. The words are, "The Lord hears the cry of the poor, blessed be the Lord." I'll sing it, you repeat it, okay? It's not on the screen, sorry. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. Blessed be the Lord. Your turn. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. Blessed be the Lord. Let the lowly hear and be glad. The Lord listens to their pleas, and to hearts broken God is near. For he hears the cry of the poor. The Lord hears the cry of the poor. Blessed be the Lord. So, I need these. So our 7th graders, we were with them on Monday night. And what they did reminded me of something amazing. See, the Lord hears the cry of the poor, but then he sends us to respond to them. I read a story about these two brothers, Craig and Mark Kielberger. Just pass it on, if I can get it lit. Craig and Mark Kielberger they've been involved in helping people throughout the world for years. They're young men. They were at a conference with other people who do this same work. And during the conference, hearing about the work that's being done, they were in awe. But at the same time, hearing about the needs in the world, they were very distracted, nervous about, oh my goodness, there's so much that needs to be done in our world. We got work to do, and I don't know if we're capable of it. And they said that everybody who was at the conference was starting to feel that way. By the time it was the closing ceremony in a big auditorium, you could feel the tension in the room. And all of a sudden, the lights went out. One person came into the center of the room with one candle. And they said, I'm just one person in a world filled with needs. What difference can I make? And they lit the candles of 4 people. And those 4 people went to the corners of the room. And together they repeated, I'm just one person in a world filled with need. What difference can I make? And then each of them passed it on to 4 people, and they repeated it until the room was filled with light. And they realized none of us is asked to do it all. Each one of us is called to carry our own unique light in our own unique way in the places where we encounter needs. And if we all do that, we can make a difference. Because it's not about what I can do, it's what we all do. Each one of us in baptism was given the light of Christ, lit from this candle, the Easter candle, the sign of Jesus risen from the dead. And each one of us was called to carry that light in our world. Imagine if we all did that as well as we could. So let me tell you what our 7th graders and their families did this week. Monday we gathered, and we're always in our faith formation classes trying to encourage doing works of mercy. Simple works, holding a door for somebody, but also profound works. People who are in the medical field and saving lives, firefighters, there's all sorts of different things we can do, each one of us in our own unique way. But we also try to encourage our students and their families to participate in a communal work of mercy, supporting charitable work each year. This year, we're asking them to support Unbound, the charity that I work for, but their program called Agents of Change. Agents of Change empowers families in the community. What they do is they see a need in this community, and they make a plan, and they apply for a grant. And the grants have been only up to $500. Now they're up to $1,500. But they do things like, in a community that's the town is built into the side of a mountain, they build a staircase for the community. They rebuild bridges that are falling apart. They do all sorts of things for the betterment of the entire community. So we told the kids about it and their parents, and we kind of made a challenge. We said we would love it if tonight, with no preparation, if we collected enough money to pay for one of those projects. And guess what? We got $520 to send to Agents of Change from these young people and their families. Be prepared to meet Jesus. You know, if you think about it, Jesus said that the lesson of the gospel is be prepared. But I look at these women in the gospel, they call it the wise and the foolish young women. I think it's the selfish young women. I mean, think about it. They could have said, we don't have enough oil for you, but stand next to me. in my light. I'll share my light with you. And that's what our young people did this week. They shared their light. They decided to do something about someone in the world. They're not even sure how it's going to help, but they did it. And now we are standing in their light. Think about this. The lamps in that gospel, I look at it as that lamp is really our heart. And if our heart is filled with the oil of mercy and compassion, it will never run dry. Because I want to tell you, my dear 7th graders and your families, I want to tell you, you have refilled the lamps of the hearts of every person in this church tonight by what you did on Monday, and by the fact that you're filling this church with the light from your candles. Our hearts are much more full than the church with these candles, trust me. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for reminding us of what we can do. But you know what else happened? That same day, last Monday, we had this small group. My very good friend, Pope Francis, he had a large group, about 6,000 kids. And some of them were from war-torn places. And he asked them, what can we do to make peace? And he listened to them with their ideas. But then he told them, one of the best ways we can make peace is reaching out. Reach out to somebody who might have been your enemy and all of a sudden they're your friend. And we can make peace. Think about it. These young people reached out across miles to someone that they'll never meet. They reached out and said, you matter. Like I said at the beginning of Mass, my teacher turned around and said, I thought I felt Jesus behind me. I think that's what was happening on Monday night here and in Rome. People were feeling Jesus around them and saying, we can do something if we recognize his presence always. So, I want to thank all of you for what you've done. I'm so moved. You can't maybe see it in the dark, but my eyes are sweating and crying. But I want to ask you, sometimes in church what we do is we give people applause. But you know what? I think it would be better if, as our families go back to their seats, we do what we did at the beginning of Mass and reach out and just say thank you. Thank you for preaching the gospel to me with your life. I want to ask you to do me one favor, blow out your candles, and then bring them back up here, because I got to use them at another Mass. Okay?